50 months for Mann Act violations in New York. When the sentence was handed down, Diddy apparently hit his knees, started crying in the courtroom, and wishing that somebody would have showed him the sympathy that he most certainly didn't show any of his victims. Now, I've been watching videos made by other YouTubers to see what everybody thinks about this, and you basically got two sides of the aisle, right? Some people feel like this sentence was justified, especially considering that the prosecution was seeking 11 years and he was only sentenced to roughly 5 years. But then you also have people saying that, hey, look, I feel like Diddy's rights were violated here. That's because the judge had said some things when he was sentencing Diddy that made people feel like he was sentencing Diddy based on charges that he was acquitted of, right? And I hear both of those arguments, and I want to talk about it today because a lot of these people have no legal experience. They've never been in a courtroom in their life. They've never spoken to attorneys in real life. They've never taken a legal education class. And for the people saying that they feel like Diddy was over sentenced, all I gotta say is those people are fucking dumbasses. And I'm gonna tell you why. Right, but before I do, let's take a look at the news clip where they talk about the sentencing for Diddy. And I apologize, this news clip is a bit lengthy, but it adds all of the context that we're gonna need for me to break down this entire situation for you guys. So y'all watch it.
Just sentenced to more than 4 years in prison, the 55-year-old was convicted back in July on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs had pleaded not guilty to all charges and was acquitted of 2 more serious charges, sex trafficking and racketeering, which would have led to a potential life sentence. Moments before he was sentenced, Combs apologized for his disgusting, shameful, and sick behavior. Those are his characterizations.
This was the most important day of this case, and Combs did give a statement about 12 minutes long where he spoke directly to the court. He talked about being personally responsible and apologized for what happened with his ex-girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and Jane. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and he said moments ago, I want to personally apologize to all of the victims of domestic violence. He said, quote, I hate myself right now. I was stripped to nothing. And when it comes to that video of him beating Cassie, he said, I was sick on drugs. I was out of control. I needed help. I make no excuses. I knew better. But the judge had some very sharp words in response to Combs. He acknowledged that he is trying to do better and told him that he hopes that he continues that, but instantly went into rejecting attempts to characterize what happened as, quote, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. He said you abused your power and control you had over women you claimed you had loved. You abused them emotionally and physically. He said the evidence was massive. I was sitting right here, he said. We read it and we saw it. Images of gashes and bruises and broken doors, and I saw it in the video. It was savage. This is according to the judge. This is some of the comments that he made just moments ago in court. I also want to note something that the judge mentioned in reference to Jane. She went by the pseudonym Jane, but this was also an ex-girlfriend. He said he referred to the brutal assault of Jane by saying, you kicked down 5 doors in her home, lifted her off the floor by her neck, punched her, kicked her, dragged her by her hair, slapped her so hard she fell down. Jane, quote, her credibility testified to those things, that she was a credible witness. So some sharp words again from the judge who just handed down that sentence, 50 months in prison. There will be time served, we believe, in consideration of that. So considering that, it might actually be 4 years. I'm just looking at a note, sentence is 50 months of incarceration. Agnifilo, which is the lead attorney for Combs, asking for more time to list facility recommendations. Also supervised release, 5 years. No reaction from Combs. He is still sitting, and there's a $500,000 fine. Prosecutors wanted 11 years behind bars. It's not quite in the middle, but it's a far cry from the 14 months that the defense was asking for. Some other things worth noting, Combs was found guilty on the 2 counts of the Mann Act. This is transportation of people across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, and that is illegal in this country. Prosecutor Christy Slavic at one point during this testimony said that this case was not just about prostitution, but violence. She emphasized the violence. And that is what we heard a little bit from the judge today when he recanted some of the testimony that we heard during the trial. Cassie Ventura, the star witness, the ex-girlfriend of Combs, who was with him for about 10 years, released a statement before this sentencing was handed down saying, "I am so scared that if he walks free, his first actions will be swift retribution towards me and others who spoke about him at this trial."
All right, so there, you guys heard it. He was sentenced to 5 years. He's been in there 12 months. He's going to get time served for those 12 months, and then he's going to be on supervised release for another 5 years when he gets out. They said that he took accountability. He apologized to the judge, apologized to his victims, said, I was sick, I needed help, yada, yada, yada. Okay, now this right here